Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. As you can see, I want to try out some nighttime recording with a more cozy vibe. Let me know what you think about that. And I also have something to knit here with me. It's a project for my boyfriend. If you want to know what it is exactly, you can check out my video before this one. And I do want to talk about kind of my year of 2022, how it went, what was great, what I learned, and as well as planning or setting some intentions and maybe also goals for the next year. Let's start with the goals I set for 2022 and kind of think and talk through how it went, and then we'll go from there. I actually made a similar video a year ago where I shared my goals. So I'm referring to the things I talked about in that video, and I'm also going to link it up here for you because maybe it's going to be helpful for your plans for 2023. I want to share some personal goals as well as stuff that kind of has to do with this YouTube channel. And so the first one is last year I set the goal that in 2022 I really want to learn how to vlog, and I actually started vlogging more in 2021 I think as well. But I think I'm really happy about the vlogs I made this year, and I enjoy it a lot. I want to continue, and up until now not so many people are interested in these vlogs, but I really hope this will change as they get better, as maybe people discover these vlogs and see them as this diary of me sharing my everyday life with you, trying to make it interesting to watch. So that's definitely something I'm happy about. It worked out well. I think I made a lot of progress when it comes to learning how to vlog. And, I hope to learn more in the next year as well. Another topic was setting better boundaries, like in online life as well as in personal life. And the funny thing about this one is that I actually don't even really remember setting it as a goal. And when I went back and watched the video, I was like, why exactly did I say that? But I think I just felt like I needed better boundaries. I needed to, protect maybe my priorities better and make sure that I spent my energy and time on the things that are important to me. And I guess I did well because I don't think that's an issue anymore, and I don't think I need to work a lot on that in 2023. So I guess that's an issue that it resolved itself without me noticing too much. And the third one is interesting, and it's I wanted to be in nature more. And I would still absolutely agree with myself from 1 year ago, and it hasn't changed. So I'm not sure if I would say that I did a great job, because I know I wanted to be in nature more, but I also know that I kind of struggled with allowing myself to go for walks on a regular basis, or sometimes prioritizing being in nature before other things like work. I think there everybody has to find a solution, and it's not about spending my days in nature only because that's what I prefer and not working, but finding a balance where it's not where going into nature is not completely discarded because of work. I think there should always be a balance. No matter how much work I have, I should still be able to sometimes take some time to go into nature. And so I do think that's something that was important to me last year, but it's also something I could have done a better job. And it's also something that hasn't changed in a way of I still want to learn more about that and figure out a routine that makes sure that I do spend more time in nature. But I also don't think I did a bad job, because I went swimming so much this summer in Germany and in Norway and in Sweden, and it was amazing. It was cold, but it was beautiful, and that's definitely something that has improved a lot, because last year I went swimming 6 times, and now this year, or the year of 2022, I went swimming 18 times. And so, it's triple the amount. I think I did a good job on that. But still, there could have been more walks, there could have been more mornings, sunrises, sunsets, and hikes and things like that. So I'll try to continue to improve that the next year. Another big change that happened on my YouTube channel is that I changed my uploading schedule from 2 videos a week to 1 video a week. Now in January, I remember ending up like making 8 videos, so it was basically 2 videos a week. But then for the rest of the year, I more so made 1 per week, plus once a month or twice a month, I had like an extra video going up, other than the 1 video per week. But so I think I did well, and it was absolutely the right decision. So there was a lot less like stress. I wouldn't say that I had no stress work-wise, but I also think that's like a dream that maybe never comes true. I think it's just normal to sometimes have a little bit of stress, and I don't think it's possible to, you know, have no stress at all when it comes to work. But it's a lot better, and I'm going to continue uploading 1 video per week, and I'm also going to continue trying to sometimes upload a second one, because I know a lot of people, you know, would prefer getting more videos. Whoop, wool is falling down. Yeah, but I think just 1 video a week is something that I can actually manage, where I feel I can put in the effort that the video needs, where I think I can, you know, upload something that has like high quality. So that's what I'm gonna do, and that's something that's sustainable, that I can do for the next years coming without being burned out, and I think that's really important. Oh well, the next one is writing a book. And writing a book is something that I've wanted to do for such a long time, and I put it on my list, and I really thought, like, I didn't think I would publish a book in 2022, but I definitely thought I would make progress when it comes to like the concepts and writing parts of it, and like really knowing where it's going, what kind of a book it will be exactly, and having a good part of like the story and the pages written, and absolutely nothing of that got done. And I think I just learned that time fills up, like time goes by, and if you don't make something a priority, you won't have time for it. And in my everyday like work routine, I just did not have a slot each week that was dedicated to working on a book or like working on actually anything big picture. I just mostly worked on a like week to week basis to publishing these videos, and so that really didn't happen. And I'm not sure if I should like say that I'm very sad about it, because it's just reality, and I had enough to do with the stuff I did, so I'm not sure if it would just be more stressful. But I'm not gonna set that as a goal for 2023, so we all know it most likely won't happen, but it's still something that's on my mind. It's still something that I want to pursue one day, so it's like loosely there in the back of my mind. Maybe I'm lucky one day and I have nothing to do and I can start seriously writing this book. We'll see. But the next one is a huge success, and it's like living a balanced minimalist life, distancing myself from numbers, from monitoring too much, and from worrying too much about, you know, being a good minimalist and not overspending and things like that, because the last video I uploaded was the everything I bought this year video, and I could definitely see that I did not, you know, buy a bunch of random unuseful things, and I worried so much less about stuff, and that's actually what I really wanted. I wanted to, you know, live a happy life without worrying about stuff, because minimalism should never be focusing on less stuff. It should always be focusing less on stuff. So decluttering makes you focused on stuff to a certain extent, and I think that's okay. But there should be a point in time, like on a minimalist journey, where you can get away from being focused on your stuff, on decluttering, on having less, on you know, maintaining a minimalist life. So I'm very happy with how that turned out, and I'm living a very happy life, not thinking about my items or minimalism in general, and that's great. I think that's good. And lastly, I really wanted to start traveling again, which did happen as that one like big trip we did in summer. We went to Norway and Sweden for 5 weeks, traveled by train, and stayed in cabins, and it was wonderful. It made me so happy, and I would love to do more of that. And so this like one real trip was the only kind of real traveling we did. But it's okay. It was a big trip. It was expensive. It was 5 weeks. And I do really hope that I will be able to travel in 2023 as well. But there are no solid plans yet, so we'll see. But it's definitely really a passion of mine, so, and it really makes me happy. So I do want to prioritize that and make something happen. Before sharing like the goals or intentions I have for the new year, I just want to say that I usually reflect on my year by writing an entry into my journal. And what I like doing is starting off with just some highlights. And those can be personal things, business things, small things, big things, just things I remember at that point that were really maybe surprisingly amazing, and or big achievements, or just moments that made me really happy in that past year. And I like to write down like 10 highlights or something like that, and then maybe later on writing more about these and about goals and how I felt in general that year. And I think it's just a great way to later on look back and kind of see in which mindset headspace I was, because sometimes looking back, we remember certain milestones, we remember certain things we did, but I think it's really, really hard to remember how I felt and thought about certain things, because I think that's really interesting as well. So that's what I like doing. And now I do want to share some goals with you that I have for the next year, and they're not like SMART goals or goals that are tied to numbers and things where I really need to push myself and make myself do things that I don't want to do. In my life currently, I don't think I want to have goals like that. They can be right for you, and depending on what you want to achieve or change, it's maybe important to have goals where you have to put in so much work and push yourself. But I also want to remind everybody that the new year shouldn't be a time to be ungrateful for the person you are. It shouldn't be a time where we like push ourselves over the limits and try to commit to stuff that we cannot do for longer than like January. I think you can change every single day of the year and of your life. And I also think that it's a good idea to just be gentle and kind to ourselves and, work with what we have. Small steps into a direction, seeing how stuff feels instead of trying to change our whole life upside down overnight, because that's most likely going to be frustrating. So let's start with the first thing I want to change or I want to do in 2023. So this is about my content, and I set it as an intention or as a goal to be even more authentic in my videos. And what I mean by that, like authenticity and trying to be my real self and be honest with myself and with you, has always been a huge part of my content and really, really important to me, because the people I like to watch, no matter if they're minimalists, if they're maximalists, if they're traveling, if they live at home, if they have an exciting or boring life, I always enjoy videos of people where I feel like they are honest, they are sharing some vulnerability, something genuine in their videos. And also, I don't care if it's vlogs or if it's any other kind of video. I enjoy watching real people. And having that said, I of course want to be that as well. And it's harder than you think maybe. So while I always try to be really honest with you, a YouTube channel is of course never reality, and I choose what I cut out, I choose what I include, I choose what I do and say and record. And so I actually want to loosen that up a bit. So vlogs help because it shows more of my everyday life. And also I just want to include more mishaps, humor, being stupid, things not working out, just, to be more realistic, to show you more of the actual me and not such a curated image that I never intend to present, but I think it happens so easily. So that sounds a bit too complicated, but I really just want to be even more authentic, showing up as myself, sharing more stuff, and I hope you're excited for it, and I hope you like it as well. And please let me know what kind of things you want to hear me talk about, show you, and we'll see if it's possible. And the second one is maybe obvious after you heard me talk about my goals for 2022 and how it went. I put it on the list as well. Being more in nature, traveling, micro adventures, just getting out of my everyday routine, going outside, seeing sunrises, seeing different weather conditions, going for hikes, like moving my body in nature. It's something I want to do more of, so I put it on the list because it's really important to me, and I have to make it a priority. I really, really want to. I'm not sure how exactly, and that's maybe a problem, so I should specify that better maybe. But it's just an intention, it's just something I really want to do. Be in nature, experience stuff, go outside, experience adventures. So, that's number 2. And the third one feels very, very vulnerable saying it out loud. It almost feels like cringy. So let me just say it. It's feeling more successful. So for over 2 years now, I've been self-employed with this YouTube channel, and it's actually something I really, really love doing. But also for that same time, I was struggling financially, always. But on the other hand, it also always worked out. So I haven't burnt my savings. I haven't made any debt. I don't earn a lot of money, but it kind of has worked out. And my problem is that I only remember kind of worrying for the past 2 years. I remember worrying about money. And now from here, it can go in 2 different directions. And I think that's really, really important to notice and to see. I can either make more money and therefore not worry about money, or I can stop worrying because it has worked out until now, and I can start worrying if there's an actual problem. And I think what I would like the most is something in between, like making a little bit more money, so I do have to think less about what I spend it for, what kind of groceries I can buy, if I want to take the bus or if I'd rather take the bike because it's free, stuff like that. While also I think you can make millions and still worry about money. So I think it's always both of these things. You have to make enough money to not worry about it, but you also have to stop the mindset of constantly worrying, no matter how much money you make. And so feeling successful for me has nothing to do with, looking down on other people, being arrogant and having a millionaire's lifestyle. I don't see any value for myself in being rich per se, or having a lot of disposable money and buying a bunch of stuff. What I want is just stop worrying, feeling okay with my financial situation. And that is, of course, something that has a lot to do with privilege. It has a lot to do with my actions. It has a lot to do with how it's going to continue with inflation and stuff like that. So there's no way in telling how I exactly feel. So the things I can do is trying to make more money, because I can't just decide to make more money. It's not like that. Even if I'm self-employed and even if I choose what I do, it's still, I cannot tell how I'm going to make more or less money, because there's so many factors that I don't control. And the other part that is really important, I think, is just the mindset. So as long as it actually works out at the end of the month, I can just stop worrying. So that's something I try to do for this year, and I hope I succeed. And then the last one is actually also really vulnerable for me, and it's making more friends. So as you maybe know, I moved abroad at the age of 20 from Switzerland to Germany. I also had a little son at that time, and these 2 things kind of made me lose touch with all of my friends. On top of that, I had the relationship with my boyfriend. So when I moved to him, a lot of my social contacts were just focused on him. I lost touch with my friends because I moved abroad, and I also lost touch with my friends because I was in a completely different situation, having a child at such a young age, when everybody else was just, focused on school, studying, partying, figuring out who they are, maybe traveling and moving out. And it's not that I don't have friends, but I just don't have many. And I also don't think, I don't want to have 100 friends. It's not about that, but I would like to have, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 close, or at least like people I would actually call friends, and I could say like, you are my friend, knowing that they would say the same thing about me. And I think finding friends as an adult is a lot more challenging than finding friends when you're a kid. And what makes it harder is that I work from home, and that I would love to do like sports, something with other people, but that's really expensive in this city and I don't really have the money for that. So I kind of have to figure out how to meet new people and maybe also deepen some relationships that are already there, reconnect with acquaintances. I do try to put myself out there and, you know, make the first step. But sometimes I feel like as an adult, it's more likely that nobody, like two people meet and then both of them think, oh, I don't want to disturb the other person. I'm not checking out because I'm not sure if the other person is interested. So I do try to be the person that does write a message and says like, hey, I enjoyed it. Let's meet up again. Let's do something. Oh, now we are out of light. We have light again. It's my boyfriend's setup, so he had to help me because I'm not familiar with these things, and they're also not really made for video making, but also more for photography. Yeah. What I wanted to say, I want to make more friends. I know some of you have reached out and asked me to, you know, be your friend because you know so much about me. And I do have to say, it's like really, really hard because this is a parasocial relationship, which means I know nothing about you and you know so much about me. And so kind of the investment in the relationship or the points where we're both starting off are not the same. I'm not saying it's impossible. And there are a few people from like my subscribers, from you, where I am in like regular contact and we do write like messages back and forth. But I think it's harder building a friendship like this than meeting on the street and getting to know each other that way. I also would love to have like international friends. I have a lot of international friends, but it's something I don't mind. Like I don't need to only have friends that are close by and that can be here in like half an hour if I need them, because I do have to say, like being in a relationship with my partner, I like most of what I need from like social life, from talking to people, can be met in this relationship because he's a really, really good friend of mine, which is amazing, which I'm really thankful for, which is also maybe a part of why I have neglected like having my own friends for the past few years. But I just realized that it's something that I want to, that I'm kind of craving, that I want to invest more of my energy and time into. So it's something that I'm gonna try next year. And I would be really interested if you have any tips on like making friends as an adult. And if you're struggling with that too, because I heard a lot of people actually, you know, would like to have more friends as adults and find it really hard to make friends. So this is kind of how 2020 went for me, how I achieved or did not achieve my goals, and also what I'm planning for 2023. As well, of course, as a lot of amazing videos, I hope. I do realize that after more than 3 years of YouTube, I'm finally at a point where actually a lot of times I like the videos I put out, because in the first 2 years or so, most videos I wouldn't really like. I thought they were okay, but I didn't really like them myself. And now I'm at a point where I make videos that I like. Not every video, but some of them, and that's great. So let me know if you have any intentions, how your year of 2022 went. Let me know everything else you want to let me know in the comments. I'm so happy you're still here. I hope you had a great change into the new year. When you're seeing this is the new year. I'm recording this shortly before the new year. And yeah, thank you for being here, really. And now I'm going to link you my latest vlog here, because that's one of the videos I like. That's the kind of video I like. It represents the content I want to make in the future as well. And I hope you've already checked it out or will now. And otherwise, I hope to see you in my next video. Look, we made some progress. And bye-bye.